Well, good morning. I think most of you know that I'm Jan Van Gasse, and I truly have the pleasure of serving on the AAUW Michigan Board as the Bylaws Director because I truly enjoy bylaws. I also am the president of Iron Mountain Kingsford branch on the far western side of the UP. And when we get to right sizing a branch, we've had to do a lot of work in that area. So, as I think a lot of branches do, because what we once had with a meeting every month or whatever it might look like often isn't applicable today. I also am on Ruth Brown's committee, the state level committee, public policy, and that's really fun. That's my other passion is public policy and bylaws. Pretty boring, huh? And then I'm also on 3 national committees, which certainly keep me busy. And those are the Advancement Committee, Government Relations Committee, and the Public Policy Committee. And I would recommend, because they have applications every year to serve on national committees, I would recommend that to anyone because you truly get to understand how AAUW at the national level works a lot better. They're very brilliant people. Sometimes I feel like, what am I doing here? But they are very smart too. The purpose of the Advancement Committee, which is probably my favorite committee, is to assist the board in the development and implementation of strategies and programs related to fundraising and membership engagement. We've probably done a little more with membership engagement than fundraising, but that's the other charge of the committee. The purpose of the Government Relations Committee is to assist the board of directors in helping to ensure the effectiveness of the overall governance of AAUW. The purpose of the Public Policy Committee, of course, you would know, is to advise AAUW on the public policy priorities and support AAUW's advocacy work with AAUW's membership by informing and engaging with members at the local, state, and federal levels on AAUW's policy priorities. All right, now, if you could do this quickly, do we all know how to set our branch next to our name? If you don't, it's okay. So I'd like you to go to the bottom of your screen. I think it's mostly at the bottom of your screen. And next to participants, click that on and you'll see over to the right your name. Are we all, everyone's okay with that so far? All right. Yep. And then you click to you click on your name, isn't it? I can't even do this. I can, but it's okay. Next to your name, you should see 3 little dots.
Yeah.
Right? You doing okay?
Yes.
And then rename. You see how that's a drop down?
Yes.
Okay. And then just put your name in there and click change. A lot of you I've met in many different situations, but I can't always remember. Okay. Now, so today, as you know, we're going to discuss the bylaws toolkit. We're going to discuss right sizing a branch, which is another toolkit, and the 5-star survey. There's going to be time for questions and discussion. So raise your hand during that part that we're discussing them, if you can, if you have a question or whatever. And to do that, I think you all know at the bottom, we have react. Do you see that little icon of react with a heart? Yeah. No. Okay. And then it says raise hand. So you raise your hand and then I'll call on you with a question. Mary Fox is already practicing, right? Or do you have a question already, Mary? No. Okay. And then to lower your hand, it's just above react when you're done so that you don't have a hand in the host thinking you have to ask a question all the time. Okay. Now, first of all, also feel free to ask me anything that you think I might be able to answer. Just because I've been on the board forever and I'm now on these national committees, I really do. There's a lot of things I've learned. And so it might not be pertain to any of these three things. But if you want to ask a question, please feel free to do that at any time. All right. Now, how many of you know when the bylaws, the new bylaws that were approved by the membership, meaning you and me, in 2023, when are those due to national? I should have offered a prize. Anybody know? I know Carol knows, or maybe you forgot. Oh, Mary, yay, she's on the bylaws committee, but we never meet, right? Because all it is now is approving these. So Mary, when are they to be approved or submitted?
26.
Okay. I think June 30,
26.
July 1, 26, or June 30, 26.
June 30, 2026. Now, when this first came out, I thought, oh my goodness, that seems like a long time from now, but it's quickly approaching. And in terms of the bylaws, if you are just approving nationals and those changes we voted on to, back in 20 or whatever, when we voted in 2023, if you're just changing those, you just run those through past your board. However, it's not Charlotte, isn't it, Charlie? You have your hand up. She looks like she's frozen.
I had it up because I was going to answer that question that Mary answered. So,
oh, I'm sorry. Mary beat you to it, but
that's okay.
Anyways, so, however, I would strongly recommend, and I think some of you have already voiced this, that it's a great time because you have to do Articles 1 through 7. Because you have to change those, it's a great time to look at your sections of the bylaws. And a lot of you, I think, probably have not done that. I know my branch hadn't done that since we changed them with AAUW before. So the difference is those have to run by your membership. Well, first you obviously have to change them, and then they run by your board, and then you have to take them to the membership at an annual meeting. And your annual meeting, I know some of you are still stuck there, or maybe you've just never sent them to me. After you have them approved at the annual meeting, you need to send them to me. Am I making sense so far with those steps?
Yes.
Questions? Okay. All right.
There
Now,
was one hand up.
Yeah. Now I'm hearing things.
Jan?
Yeah.
It's Mary Fox. I have two questions. I'm in Gaylord.
Yeah. I know where you are.
Okay. I was not the chair when we passed those. We did modify them, and we did pass them at our annual meeting. And as I recall, when we passed them, the people who chaired that bylaws committee said something like there's some other steps, and then eventually they come back to us and we approve them in their final form or something like that. It seemed like there were two steps. Is this ringing a bell that you can
It is.
clarify for me?
Okay.
So did you get them from us? I guess is my first
I
question.
did, but there was still a few things. And I'll read those to you. You sent the final copy on 6/17/25, which is not too long ago. I approved them with the correction in an article number, I can't remember, and also asked about spelling and appointed officers. And then I asked if they'd been approved at your annual meeting, and you need to put in the amendment date. So really, the approval at the annual meeting was the critical one because you had changed things. Does that make sense, Mary? And I've got notes on every branch, but just the other day I sort of
Sure,
summarized.
thank you. I will check in with our leads, the two members who did those revisions and make sure they got your reply. And then if we're confused, I'll follow up with you offline.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So that was both of your questions?
Well, the other question was, once we get that all copacetic and you're good with it, does something happen and then they have to come back to the branch for final approval?
Okay. When you change any portions of your bylaws, that has to come back to be voted on by the membership, and they need to pass with a 2/3 vote at the annual meeting, or a meeting you could call the annual meeting. So that's the second step. Okay, because they are the bylaws of the membership.
Right, we've done that. Well, barring what changes we'll need to make, and I understand if we change it again, we need to vote on it again. But that's it then. Once you're happy with it, we're done. I thought we had to vote again after it went to national, but maybe I
No,
misunderstood
okay,
that.
after you're done, I would suggest, and almost everyone that's asked me, I've answered this way. Once the annual, you've had your annual meeting, and then you put a date at the end of them as to when they were amended. You should send them to me, because National wants me, if possible, to submit all of our branches. But if you send them, that's okay too. But there's a special way you gotta note them. So before I go on, let me, I'm nervous. No, I'm not, I'm fine. Where is Leah? Okay, Leah, can you bring up the AAUW site? I'll show this to all of you, because it answers a lot of these questions.
Okay, I clicked share and it's not doing anything. Here we go.
AAUW.org, right? Charlie, did you have another question or a question?
Well, yeah, just a clarification or an ask. I believe that we are finished with the national portion of our bylaws. But it's been a long time, and there's been some complications. There's been some complications going on health-wise at my home. So, but what I'm wanting to know is can you send me or let me know whether or not you got we took your piece and just put it into our bylaws. And that was a while ago.
Yeah,
Will you
that
be
was
able
the model bylaws, right?
say that again?
Those are the model bylaws from.
Right.
From
So I wonder if you get a minute to recommunicate with me relative to where the Livonia branch is. I know we've done nothing with ours because each
Right.
time we've looked at what the national did, we kept saying, let's wait to see what happens. First, we had to wait to see what happened with the vote because we didn't want to have to do ours twice.
Right.
And I know you
Okay.
sent me some stuff about the I know I think I sent it to you because I think you sent it back to me
You
and
did.
said, here's
Yeah.
some things you need to think about changing in your bylaws relative to the new changes.
right,
So
okay.
my only question is, rather than me trying to dig through a lot of stuff
Yeah,
here to
why
find it,
don't we set up a time? I even suggested to you on April 13th, if we could do a Zoom talk
okay.
or on the phone. Just, it's so much easier than me to, you know what I mean?
But
you
before
do-
that, will you send me the information we're going to talk about?
Sure, okay,
Thank you.
yeah, all right, now. So I wanted actually, can we scroll up a little bit? Because I wanted where it says the membership stuff. And that's AAUW.org. It's right on the front page. We're going the wrong way. I'm sorry.
Oh, why, that is the,
Not AAUW.org.
wait, you want membership? I'm sorry,
Yeah,
what?
yeah, that's fine. Click that on. See, this is not. where I
There's
want-
membership.
Yeah, okay, but it's not. I wanted.
Bylaws.
No, okay, there it is. I want reader resources and tools. And this is where both the right sizing is toolkit and the bylaws. See all the toolkits that are here. If you haven't looked at like the strategic plan one, it's fabulous. But anyway, so we're going to click on bylaws toolkit. Okay. Can you enlarge that at all, Leah? Or so that I can read it?
Yeah, it's so tiny.
Yeah, okay. So you'll notice that they were last updated. It says November 1st, 2025. That's when they were finally updated after the membership had approved them. But we're going to scroll down and you will see that the mandatory, you can stop for a second. The mandatory first 7 are those. And that whenever those, we have new ones, then the affiliates have to put them in theirs. Okay, so this explains in the next part mandatory conformance, how you can do that. You can just, take them from the website, drop them in yours, and by copying and pasting, and you need to put your affiliate's name, obviously, in their 2 places, sections 1 and 2. So, however, I don't want you to copy it there. I think Leah, and then I talked to National about this the other day, that they need to change that particular way to do that. So we're going to scroll down a little bit more and I'll show you where it is. Okay, so wait a minute, where is it? Okay, what vote is required? These are good to know. And I think I've said most of them, but what vote is required to include the mandatory amendments? Let's do the plus, please. There you go. And no vote. But can we amend the 7 conforming articles?
No.
Those are the first 7 that are AAUWs. And the answer is absolutely not, except for putting your branch in section 1. Can my branch amend any other articles? It's a great idea. But you obviously have to comply with state laws. And I will tell you, in Michigan, the state laws are, first of all, you have to have an administrative officer. Secondly, you must have a financial officer. Doesn't matter what you call them, but that's the name. And third, you have to have an annual meeting. So those are laws in Michigan. And in addition, you have to have a recording officer of some kind. It can be a secretary, it can be whatever, but so 3 officers, and you must have an annual meeting to elect officers, to change bylaws, whatever you think you should do. So it says that right. Now, choosing the right resource. There's where the model bylaws are. And they're correct there, Leah, when we were talking the other day.
Well-
So if you click that on,
You want me to click that? Is that what you said?
yeah, please. You can just cut and paste those. And actually, even when you're amending your own branch's bylaws, it would be, because you've got to amend these too, obviously, then you could just cut and paste and then move on from there. So, I was going to tell all of you, how many of you are sure of your status? Leah, you can close this out. How many of you are clear of your status for June 30th? You can close all of it out.
Could you repeat what you just said, please?
How many of you are sure of your branch's status for the submission on June 30th? Or it'd be nice if I got them by June 29th, so I can submit them to national. So Sharon, you're sure, right? Yay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Phyllis Rallier from our branch was working on them and sent them to you.
Okay, and I approve them, correct?
Yes.
All right. I can look to make sure you're not lying, but I believe you. Yeah, Rochester, I received the final copy on 10/26/24, and they were approved, so we're good. All right, and Mary, we already talked, right?
Right.
You're sure of your
I'm
status.
sure of everything. I just have, we just have to go through the annual meeting, which is in April.
You're exactly right. So you're gonna send me the amended copy after your annual meeting in April.
Yes.
So you and I are on the same page. Anyone else want to know sort of quickly
Well,
what their status is?
This is Joan McGlinchey in Farmington. I'm ready because you've approved our bylaws to be submitted to the branch, and that'll be done in May at the annual meeting for their
Okay,
approval.
great. So
And then I send them to you, back to you.
yes. And just if you can send them as quickly as possible, so I can go through them all and get them ready to submit to national.
Jan,
Yeah.
I think I don't have to answer that question again for you because I think we have the national done. We have not totally addressed. It's what I just told you, but I need to find those documents. So
Right.
Okay, thank you.
And if you don't get it done this year, it's not the end of the world.
Oh,
just-
not.
Don't
That's
tell us
Chris.
that.
Seems to me you want to do it once rather than, and they usually don't change their bylaws that often. So, I mean, but I do we looked at ours almost every year. And the biggest issue we have is putting things in bylaws that belong in policies.
Policy.
Because if they had been in policies, we wouldn't have to look at our bylaws all the time or as often. Do you understand what I'm saying by that? You can change policies anytime. Sheila will tell you we change them on, because I read them all the time, on the AAUW of Michigan board. But you can't change bylaws without a vote, an annual meeting and a vote. So that's, to me, a biggie. Okay, Lucy, what do I need to look at quickly?
I just want to confirm, we have our branch, the Birmingham Bloomfield branch bylaws are all set. We amended and approved, I think last year, but we're still working on our foundation bylaws.
Yeah, and we don't have to submit those.
We don't have to submit the foundation bylaws?
No. I mean, I think they're extremely important, and I would continue to work on them, but
Okay.
you do not have to submit those.
Okay, but
Okay.
so the Birmingham Bloomfield branch is all set.
Yes, for my part, right? And for yours, but I mean, I think when I did look at yours, I do think you might want to work on those, don't you?
Work on what, our
Your
branch?
foundation bylaws.
Work on what?
Work on your foundation bylaws.
Oh, yeah, we're involved in that, yes.
Okay,
All
all
right.
right. Judy, did I answer your question or not? Or you think you're all set?
Yeah, I think we're all set. We just have one little change we're gonna make, so, you
Yeah,
know,
you need to delete an article and
we're-
everything really was done. I don't know if that got deleted, but it needed to be done before or at the annual meeting.
right, and we've got the 30-day notice and all that kind of stuff, and it won't be until May, so.
Right, and that's the other issue, is you can't just call an annual meeting tomorrow because your current bylaws, and every bylaws I've ever read, says you need to provide a 30-day notice. So what's confusing is changing bylaws at your annual meeting. Because you're going to change them, you can't put them into effect until after your annual meeting. That's why you put a date on it. Yeah, Jane, I'm sorry. You're muted. There you
That-
are.
That relates to the question that I had. I was under the understanding that provided you made that submission of your bylaw revision to your membership 30 days in advance of a meeting, that you could indeed implement a bylaw change at a time other than the annual meeting. Is that incorrect?
No, that's not incorrect, but most people don't want to, have a program meeting and do their bylaws in the middle of it or whatever, you know what I mean? So, no, you're fine if you're gonna get it done. Is that what you're?
Thank you.
Okay, Sharon,
Is there a simple way to know the difference between a bylaw and a policy when you're doing your things?
I don't know if it's simple, but it's something that, first of all, it's a different level, you know what I mean? It's really those guiding things that you're not gonna change probably. But, and the other for me at least is, do I think this is gonna be able to last for a long time? So I think if we get to right sizing, that might help. But an example would be, and I can't remember if it was yours, but it was someone that put in their old bylaws that they were going to publish their newsletter called the Yodeler or whatever it was called. That was in their bylaws. Well, I don't think that's a good idea. Number one, you might not be able to publish it four times a year, but number two, you might not want to name it that, So we're going to publish our newsletter at least 2 times a year. That's a good example in my mind, but does that help?
Yes, I take it that would be a policy because that's something that you decide on, based on but maybe membership rules would be bylaws because, this is what you have to be a member, so.
Exactly. Well, you can't change a lot of those things anyways, right? So, okay. I'd like to move on because we'll never get through everything.
Jan, I'm sorry. It's Mary Fox again. I had my hand up, but you just said something that left me completely confused.
Oh, good.
We have meetings regularly. As long as we publish bylaw changes with 30 days notice, Did you say it's fine to approve them with 2/3, majority at a routine meeting? Because previously I thought you continued to emphasize it has to be at an annual meeting.
Well, I will emphasize that it should be. Because, in fact, you might have something in your current bylaws to say you're gonna have to check that if you're gonna deviate. But generally, annual meetings are important, and they are, to make bylaws changes, to elect your officers. I'm trying to think, is there anything else you routinely do at your annual meeting? So if you're not doing those things, I think it might take away from a normal meeting, and you have to be really careful. You're doing everything that's in your current bylaws unless you want to change it. And then you have to take them to a vote. But I think right now, why I was saying that is we just need to get this done, to be perfectly honest. And I'd rather us not wait forever because we're changing the other ones. Does that make sense? So,
Yes, thank you.
okay. All right. Now I'm going to go on to right sizing an AAUW branch. And once again, this one I'm really going to just, I'm not going to talk as freely about because we're working on this in my particular branch. But do any of you remember Beth Haynes? She was a president. Yeah. Beth Haynes and I wrote this together. So you'd think I know it better than I do, but she did most of the work. Okay, so many affiliates or branches haven't changed structures to meet the changing affiliate and community needs or member capacity. So what do we mean by structures? The toolkit will guide you through evaluating your leadership needs, AAUW branch board requirements. I'm reading this, I hate that, and meeting frequency. So, any of you have problems finding leaders? We did.
Yes,
Or recruiting new members.
yes.
So you might need to change the size of the board and or realign duties. Now this is going to be Sharon's, like, she could have written this herself, right? Because you guys have a very different structure than most branches do. All right, so we need to establish branch structures. There's several reasons to accomplish branch and national goals, to build in sustainability, to prevent volunteer burnout, plan for the future, engage members, and free up time for mission-based work and recruitment and retention. So I think many times you feel like, okay, we're doing all these things, but how do they relate to our mission? And that's really critical, but I think it's one thing is due to the next, because it's the same people in most cases doing the jobs. So I mentioned this before, that leadership, what does AAUW require? They only require an administrative contact and a finance contact. They're encouraged, however, to appoint a public policy chair and a diversity officer, because those positions help to meet the 5-star criteria. And also, they don't need to be board positions. Now, what are the legal requirements? And they're really, other than, well, I said in our case, we have to have an annual meeting and we have to have a recording secretary or someone that records minutes, etc. Those are basically the laws, but the foundation is a little different, and that's why I hesitate to do anything with that. AAUW hasn't issued guidance on that, and really, it's beyond me, I guess. So, think about what does your branch need? Can you accomplish your goals with fewer board members? We've got to know what our goals are, though. It's not necessarily to do the same thing every year. Can ad hoc committees replace board positions or board action? Are some, I don't even know what that is. But would updating or simplifying job descriptions make roles more attractive? I think you know that AAUW Michigan on our website has job descriptions for most positions. Can co-officers, including co-presidents, fulfill your leadership needs? And would a president-elect position help provide mentorship and ease the transition period? On one hand, it's more officers. On the other hand, it seems to me a lot of times we don't transition well. And so the new person doesn't have any idea what they're supposed to do. And, that would help. Among many reasons that younger women don't join is that busy professional women don't want or have the time to do. They just want to do. So look at how your meeting schedule balances planning and action and member availability. One branch, well, actually it's up here, but they meet during lunch in a church, and many of their people, they're working women, we're not real close to much of anything. So they have to travel to their jobs about 45 minutes. And you do that twice a day. And also that, they really just don't have the time to do. And I know the other thing is their meetings are all in churches. And I think that can be very intimidating to some women of other religions. But okay, so does AAUW have any minimum meeting requirements? No. Traditionally, we've offered monthly programs from September to May or June. Some branches meet quarterly. Some branches only hold an annual membership meeting. That's my branch. We just decided that, we'll have an annual meeting and do something else as part of that annual meeting. They're combined. So, notice though what it says, what are the legal requirements? Most nonprofits require an annual meeting. What are the state laws in the IRS code? In Michigan, you have to have an annual meeting. Okay, so what does your branch need? How many membership or general meetings do you hold? Could you achieve your goals with fewer meetings? Would electronic or virtual meetings help you achieve your goals? Zoom or other means? And I know a lot of people don't like Zoom. So you have to weigh that too. I love it, but I live in such an area, I couldn't be part of any of the, AAUW Michigan or anything. Does the time and place of your meetings work for your members? Can board action replace membership action? And can you meet your branch goals with fewer board meetings? Okay, so we've got a couple examples of models in Michigan, in the nation. Traditional branch is the one we usually talk about, right? I think we all know that. And then there's a 3 to 5 member planning committee model. So it elects a small board or planning committee comprised of 3 to 5 members who are designated as administrative officer, a finance officer, and 1 to 3 members at large who could have other jobs like membership, newsletter. And then chair and secretary duties may rotate among the board committee members from month to month. there is a minutes template at the back of this that it suggests that if someone is this monthly secretary or whatever, that we all do minutes the same way. I know I'm on our school board, and our minutes are, every month obviously are the same. The content is different, however. So, then the Rochester model, that's Sharon's. The committee structure includes 12 council presidents, a finance officer, and a program VP. Is that right? Did we do that right?
Yes, except we probably have 9 months, not 12 months, because we cover all the months, but we probably only have 10 people out of the 12 months that are present.
Okay. Let me know, because this is just our first iteration, if you think I should change this, okay? One of the 12 presidents is designated as the AAUW administrative contact, and each president presides for 1 month.
That's correct.
Good. All right, the Houston model. My husband tells me I don't say that word correctly, so I hesitate to say Houston. All right, but this branch is inactive, but it wants to maintain a presence in a major city and or maintain its historic name. Now, Janet's not on here, but I almost think of Detroit as Detroit is so small. They have 7 members, I believe. And Leah's looking it up to see if I'm right.
Well, actually, I just was looking this information up. I think they may have 10 right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But Janet has been the president forever. And, as a result, it's difficult, but they're also, I believe, the oldest branch in Michigan, or the oldest. I just read this the other day. But anyways, they are the oldest branch I know in Michigan. But I think they're one of the oldest organizations or in Michigan too.
Oldest women's organization, I think, is maybe what the website says.
What?
I think maybe the website says it's the oldest women's organization in the state of Michigan.
That's it. Yes. Okay. So Houston keeps its current members, its name, its affiliate agreement, and web presence. But potential new members are routed to another branch that's active. The branch is open to receive dual members. So, we already belong to one. We could also join this. One of the local branches or the state affiliate assumes responsibility for everything required to maintain an affiliate. It provides the officers, completes tax returns, provides for any required meetings. So that's how Houston and the other branches have worked this out. Now, obviously, they spent a lot of time figuring this out, but it helps because as no one was joining, and now they're going to these other branches. Okay, thank you for coming, Judy. All right, now, the California online model. It's merely that they have an online branch and they do everything online. What's nice is that members can join from across the state and beyond. The branch meets exclusively online with all the components of an in-person branch, from strong leadership to vibrant interest groups. So it's been active for more than 20 years. Another model, create your own model. This is pretty, we wanted to put in everything you can think of. And then join forces. A lot of branches in Michigan have talked about this because we're losing branches. This past year, we also gained 2, which is nice, but When an alternate leadership model won't work, try joining forces with another branch. But to do this, one branch has to close and all the members join another. The branch that closed keeps its identity as an interest group in the new branch. Their full members are full members of the new branch with the same rights as any other branch member. The branch that closes turns its monies over to the remaining branch. When there are branch funds, you need a memorandum of understanding to ensure that funds are dispersed according to the closed branch's priorities. Like if local scholarships are important, that's something that would need to be in a memorandum of understanding. And then there's amalgamate or merge, where two or more branches close and create one branch. But there you have to disband the existing branches and create a new branch. So once again, we need a lot of discussion and memorandums of understanding of how these would work. But so in that situation, you might want to do something for 1 year or 2 years, but set the boundary, and then when are we going to look at this again? Because you might need to. All right, now anything else? Oh, next page. You don't have it. That minutes template that I told you about is there. It's not rocket science, but branch right sizing checklist on the next, scroll down to the next page, please. All right, so first of all, to know what laws apply to your branch, incorporated if 501c3, C4, nonprofit laws, IRS code. Now, you really, I'm not a lawyer, never intend to be. So these are things that we're supposed to be aware of in terms of our own branch. State, we already talked about that, who's usually required, and I told you that, and what is encouraged. Okay, and then there are board policies. They are at the end of the policies that we have on our website, because they're policies for us too. So how to create and name AAUW affiliates, which is the one side, and then the other, how to disband. So I think that's it. Creating, dissolution and creating a name. Okay. So do you think that this will be helpful, or at least where it is? And you
Yes.
can ask me questions.
Yeah.
Okay. Were you aware of this before?
No, I was.
No.
Okay. And you know where to find it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's under, well, why don't you repeat?
Actually, no.
Find it, Jan.
It's
Oh,
under
okay.
membership.
Okay. It's on the AAUW website,
Right.
It is.
and you go to membership.
And that's what I thought.
I'm not sure it's there, but
Well, isn't that where we're
that's where
looking
the other ones were. And you're embarrassing me because this one took me a long time to find.
Yeah, I just put it in the chat. It looks to me like this, well, no, it is on the website. I couldn't find it on the website. And so Jan sent me the only reason I had it up to show you today is because Jan sent me the URL, but I'm not sure this is actually linked off the main website yet, because is this still a work in progress, Jan?
Perhaps because it is a PDF, right? But
Yeah, I mean, it is up. At first I thought maybe it was on their SharePoint site, but it does indicate that it is on the website. But I could not find it when I searched for it.
when I couldn't either, but I can put in the chat, or you could.
Yeah, I've already put in the chat what the URL is.
Okay,
You have,
now,
I don't see.
do you see it?
Oh, nope.
No.
Is it under new chat?
It's under the meeting chat.
Just
Yeah,
click on it.
and Carol, there's so many things here. Do I just keep going down to
Oh, yeah, if you.
Leah? Okay, it's way down under Leah, Big Rapids. Okay.
Right,
Wow.
Jan,
Okay.
Jan,
yes,
I just took the URL out of the chat, put it into my browser, and the pages we're working on came right up.
okay,
Wow.
good.
I copied the whole thing. I just cut and pasted it into my
And frankly,
URL.
that's how I did it the other day, and,
Yeah.
but I
So-
couldn't find it anywhere on the
So
website.
we need to save that URL, each of us somewhere, if we want to go back to this
Right.
document easily.
Right, or just, send me an email, whatever, if you need.
And when I send out the notice of the recording, I'm thinking I should put both of the three URLs that you sent me into that email, include that.
That would be great.
Yes, it would.
And the answer to, is this a national or AAUW of Michigan worksheet? It is a national. So you will notice there are some things that, maybe wouldn't work for us. But it is a national. There was a plea to national from many different people to start working on something like this. So as I said, Beth and I spent quite a bit of time, but it's not great yet. And we intend to work with it, but at least it's a start. Would you agree?
Yes.
And if any of you would like to add to it or let me know something you're, unclear about, please do that. Okay, can we move on? So in my last 7 minutes, I can do the last thing.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
there's one other question that is in the chat, but it is kind of related to 5 stars. So maybe you might want to wait and answer that question after you've talked about the 5-star program.
Okay, let me see.
It's from Pam Earhart.
Okay.
How much more time do you think we need? Because I have another thing I have to get to also.
Okay, I'll go fast, I promise. But I think a lot of this is knowing where it is. It's right on that membership page that we referred to before. Now, the 5-star program, that branches can earn a star by meeting the criteria in one of these 5 areas. But I don't want us to focus on that. That's not the purpose. The purpose is really to align goals, strategic plan, etc. My branch is never going to earn 5 stars, and that's okay. But these are important things. And can we enlarge that at all?
Oh, I did make it a little bigger. It looks big on my screen. I'm sorry, you're looking a little smaller.
Oh, okay. And so in advancement, I wanted to point out that the second bullet, you only have to earn 3 in this area, but the second bullet, I was confused on this. Those are the 2 new funds that AAUW established. And I thought, oh, okay, like if I did greatest needs last year, and how do they keep track of that? And the answer is they don't. They keep track of your branch and how many people contribute to any of those 3 funds. So I could not contribute last year and contribute this year, and that'd be okay. I don't know that I'm saying that right, but do you understand what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be the same person.
So they're looking at the number of people, not the size of the contribution?
No. No. Yes, the answer is yes. They're
Okay.
not, there are others raise $30 per member in, and then, oh, no. That one is increase the contributions, Leah, I'm sorry. It's 2 down, increase the number of individual donors compared to the previous fiscal year. So those don't have to be the same donors. So I'm sorry, I was wrong. Okay. So I would really, and if you look at some of these, you can do about 3 of them at once, it seems to me. You know, your branch contribution to those 2 funds we just talked about, and increase those contributions. That's the second and the 5th bullet. Okay, so, and I think no, well, okay, we probably should go down, but you guys can read. And if you have any questions, please be sure to ask. I don't want this to sound like National won't answer your questions, but in a lot of cases, they have so many questions and they're so short of staff. If you want to ask any of us, please do. And usually, I mean, Angie Cooper, who's this answers the questions at National, she goes, Jan, I ask you sometimes, I can't remember. So please feel free to ask. But with the 5-star, I wanted to tell you that, I have 2 minutes. The reason we're doing this, as I said, is to see what is it that, you know, how are we aligned? You get a survey. You don't have to do one for us anymore. Those of you that had to do one for us. We stopped that last year, and this is what you have to do. It's a branch survey, and it really is a way of sharing your progress towards these criteria. It serves as a report from AAUW branches collecting information that indicates each branch's progress towards the 5-star criteria. So beginning with this year, the time period is July 1 of 2025 and June 30th of 2026. I would strongly recommend that you at least write down, or someone knows what were programs you did, et cetera. You know what I mean? In the past, people are like, I don't know. Well, you should know these things. Do you have a diversity officer, et cetera? Then the vote or the filling out of the survey is going to go through June 30th. So it will open in April. And the idea is, because sometimes one person will say, well, I didn't know the answers to these questions, but you could have both people there, your outgoing and ingoing president. So be sure to stay up to date on AAUW communications to member leaders, primarily membership matters, to ensure you're up to date on the latest timing. Membership matters only goes to presidents, I believe. I could be wrong on that.
I think it's other
you
officers.
get membership matters. You don't know? It's wonderful. I also send it to our state president, asking her to send it to everyone else, but I know that's not really happening on a monthly basis. But anyways, so membership matters. I can also, forward it on if you're interested. But I believe that all. Do you get it, Mary?
With that, I don't get it.
You don't, but you're president.
I get the membership matters in Rochester, but I'm the liaison, but I just assumed everybody gets it. Why wouldn't all the members get membership matters? Because it's very informative.
There's many they do, but maybe we should make that clear then. They're hoping the presidents will forward it to everyone. But we should make some of those things so that presidents are aware. But part of the reason is people say they get too many, but I think that's the best one by far. So, all right. It is 9:01. No, this went so fast.
10:01.
So Pam, what's your quick question, and then I'll let her and go.
Pam is muted.
Right.
Thank you, Mary. I'm from Ann Arbor, and so we have enough people and enough things to do without adding another set of jobs to any of our officers. So we've decided to come up perhaps with a person to manage our five-star program. The thing is when I tried to get a survey, I was not able to do that.
It's too early.
Right. Oh, but even
Right.
in the past, I've been working on this for like a year now. And
Okay.
there's no direct way for someone who is not, say, an officer to get that survey so that they can set up a program. So it just has to do with what you were just covering. It's okay.
Well, could
Yeah.
you,
Except if you're doing most of the things in the 5-star, you for sure will earn something.
Well, it's not a question of earning it. I am trying to come up with some kind of a job description. I just need information, but I
Okay.
have not had anybody to
Let me
that
see
has
if I can
returned with me.
find last year's, because I have last year's survey
Hmm.
that you had to take online. And then I think that would help a lot because it won't be that different this year.
Okay. Well, I actually I do have it someplace, but Jan,
Okay.
what's a good way to get a hold of you so that I can have at least somebody to talk to? Because I've
Yes,
not been
love it.
successful with that at all.
Right, and I know the person in charge of the survey too, and he sent it to a lot of my people last year, but I didn't know for sure. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
my God. It's Janice, Janice,
Hmm.
Van Gasse, Vangasse.
Uh-huh. Are there
At,
capital letters in that?
nope,
Okay.
at gmail.com.
At Gmail. Okay, thank you very much, Jan.
You're very welcome. Well, those of you that have held on for this long, right? Thank you very much. I hope you learned something today.
Yes,
And I wish we'd had more time.
thank you.
Yes,
You're
Jan,
welcome.
good review.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Leah, it sounded like we were staying on some of us.
Yeah, I think the handful of us.
Yep.
But I'm not sure that we have Katie. I haven't seen her.
Yes,
I
I
haven't.
see. And it looks like Ruth left. Yeah, Ruth signed off as well.
I'm sorry I went too long.
Oh, you're good.
No, that was not hardly over, so.
There are a lot of questions I should.
I'm just texting Ruth real quick.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess one of the things that I want to ask is you got my email about the convention and or from Amy, and you also some of you, I don't think Eve